I stand here not as a perfect man, not as someone with power, money, status, or influence. I stand as someone who has survived, someone who fought addiction, someone who fought homelessness and fought trauma, someone who fought his own mind every single day just to stay alive. And I need people to hear me clearly when I say this. A human life should never be worth less than a position of power. A human life should never be worth less than money. A human life should never be silenced because the truth makes people uncomfortable. Because that is exactly what keeps happening. We keep hearing speeches, we keep hearing promises, we keep hearing campaigns about change. But where is the change? Where is the safety? Where is the compassion? Where is the accountability? How do we continue owing more and more money while the people continue suffering? How do we continue watching violence, addiction, trauma, homelessness, and fear growth in our communities while people in power keep telling us everything is improving? And now we talk about shutting down a fire department, a fire station in one of the biggest parts of the city, the North End, while fires are happening constantly, while families are scared, while first responders are exhausted, while people are literally calling for help. You cannot stand in front of fires acting like you care about human beings while simultaneously removing the very protection that saves human lives. That is not leadership. That is contradiction. That is politics over people. And I am tired of watching people become statistics while others protect reputations. I know what it feels like to be forgotten. I know what it feels like to be judged. I know what it feels like to have people look at you like you are broken beyond repair. I used to be one of the biggest problems, and I admit that openly. I admit my mistakes. I admit my failures, and I definitely admit my past. But why is it that people who fight to change still feel invisible? Why do people recover still feel unwanted? Why do people trying to rebuild their lives still feel abandoned? I'm coming on to 6 years clean in June 23rd, 2026. 6 years. Do people understand what that means for someone who once struggled every day? Do people understand the battles behind that? The nights, the cravings, the loneliness, the self-hatred, the withdrawals, the fear of the funerals, the shame, the hopelessness. I fought for my life. Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. I'm still fighting. I went through the Recovery Coach Academy. I kept pushing forward. I worked on myself. I changed my environment. I got off medications that were hurting me. I tried to build a normal life. That is all I ever wanted. A normal peace, purpose, a chance. But instead I feel alone sometimes. I still feel voices like mine do not matter unless we are dying on the streets. And that is what breaks my heart the most. Because for every person you see sleeping outside, there is a story. For every addict, there is pain. For every domestic violence victim, there is fear. For every person screaming in anger, there is usually somebody underneath that anger begging to be loved, heard, protected, and understood. People are not disposable. Human beings are not inconveniences. Trauma does not disappear because society ignores it, and silence is one of the most dangerous things the community can normalize. Truth gets silenced, voices get silenced, radio episodes disappear, people become afraid to speak because they know what happens when they do. But I refuse to stay silent anymore, because insanity is doing the same thing over while expecting different results. We keep electing the same people, we keep accepting the same excuses, we keep watching the same suffering, and then wonder why nothing changes. Change starts when people stop being afraid to speak honestly. Change starts when compassion becomes stronger than image. Change starts when protecting human life becomes more important than protecting status. And hear me when I say this, second chances save lives. Some people never even got a first chance. Some people were born into trauma, born into addiction around them, born into violence, broken systems, and into survival modes. And instead of helping them heal, societies label and throw them away. But I see them now. I see the homeless. I see the addicts trying to recover. I see the domestic violence survivor. I see the lonely people silently falling apart in apartments nobody checks on. I see people every day laugh at. I see the people everybody gave up on because I was one of them. And maybe that pain is exactly why I'm supposed to speak now. Not because I ain't perfect, but because I survived long enough to tell the truth. I am not rambling, I'm grieving. I am warning people. I am fighting for people. I'm speaking for people who feel invisible. And I will keep speaking because silence never saved anybody. Compassion saves people. Recovery saves people. Community saves people. Truth saves people. Love saves people. And if the city truly wants change, then stop asking whether somebody's status matters more than a human life. And start treating every struggling human being like their lives matter before it's too late.